A glimpse into the future. Benjamin Franklin's unpublished predictions. Benjamin Franklin, the polymathic founding father, was not only a man of his time but also a visionary who peered deeply into the future. His unpublished writings offer a treasure trove of predictions about the destiny of the United States, a nation he helped to establish. Franklin possessed an uncanny ability to discern the trajectory of history. He recognized patterns of human behavior, drawing upon his vast knowledge of history, philosophy, and science. His predictions, often imbued with a mixture of hope and caution, provide a valuable lens through which we can examine our present and contemplate the path ahead. The paradox of liberty complacency and the seeds of decay. Franklin, a staunch advocate for liberty, understood its paradoxical nature. He foresaw that the very freedom Americans cherished could become their Achilles heel. He worried that a life of ease and prosperity might breed complacency, eroding the vigilance needed to safeguard their hard-won liberties. He believed that the spirit of self-sacrifice and civic engagement, so essential during the Revolution, could dwindle in times of peace and abundance. This potential for decay, Franklin warned, could leave the nation vulnerable to internal strife and external threats. Democracy's fragile foundation, the perils of an uninformed electorate. A champion of democracy, Franklin also recognized its inherent fragility. He believed that an informed and engaged citizenry formed the bedrock of a successful republic. However, he harbored deep concerns about the potential for an uninformed electorate to make poor decisions, swayed by passions and prejudices rather than reason and knowledge. Franklin feared that demagogues and factions could exploit the ignorance of the masses, undermining the principles of reasoned debate and consensus building that underpinned a healthy democracy. He stressed the importance of education and critical thinking as essential bulwarks against the erosion of democratic values. The shadow of wealth inequality and the erosion of democracy. Franklin recognized the potential for economic inequality to undermine the very foundations of a democratic society. He witnessed firsthand the growing disparities in wealth during his lifetime. He worried that a concentration of wealth in the hands of a few could lead to a perversion of democratic ideals. He feared that the wealthy elite could use their economic power to influence government policies, manipulate markets, and silence dissent. This concentration of power, he believed, could create a system of oligarchy, where the interests of the few would supersede the needs of the many. The double-edged sword, technological advancement and its discontents. A man of science and innovation, Franklin embraced technological progress. However, he was also keenly aware of its potential pitfalls. He believed that every technological advancement came with unforeseen consequences. He cautioned against blindly embracing every new invention, urging a thoughtful approach that considered both its benefits and drawbacks. Franklin stressed the importance of harnessing technology for the betterment of humanity while guarding against its potential to exacerbate existing social problems or create new ones. America on the world stage, a balancing act of influence and restraint. Franklin envisioned a future where America would play a significant role on the world stage. He believed in the power of the young nation to be a force for good, promoting liberty and democracy abroad. However, he cautioned against the dangers of unchecked ambition and military adventurism. He argued against entangling alliances and warned of the seductive nature of power. Franklin advocated for a foreign policy grounded in diplomacy, trade, and mutual respect, urging the nation to lead by example rather than force. The fabric of society's civic virtue, responsibility, and the common good. Franklin recognized that a healthy and vibrant society depended on more than just laws and institutions. He believed that civic virtue, personal responsibility, and a commitment to the common good were essential for a thriving republic. He worried about the potential for individualism and self-interest to erode the bonds of community and shared purpose. Franklin advocated for the cultivation of moral character, emphasizing the importance of education, hard work, frugality, and public service as pillars of a virtuous citizenry. The siren song of misinformation. guarding the gates of truth. As a printer and publisher, Franklin understood the power of information. He recognized the essential role of a free press in a democratic society, but he also foresaw the dangers of misinformation and the erosion of truth. He witnessed firsthand the spread of propaganda and false narratives during his lifetime. Franklin stressed the importance of critical thinking, media literacy, and a discerning public that could separate fact from fiction. He emphasized the need for reliable sources of information and the importance of holding those in power accountable for their words and actions. The Leviathan's reach, the dangers of government overreach and centralization. Franklin harbored a deep distrust of concentrated power, whether in the hands of a monarch or a centralized government. He believed that power corrupts and that the best way to prevent tyranny was to limit the scope and authority of government. He advocated for a system of checks and balances where power was distributed among different branches of government and levels of government. He believed that local governance, closer to the people, provided the best safeguard against the overreach of a distant central authority.